an interesting discussion with a very great guest, as we've always done. We are going to have a conversation on a very important topic known as winner takes all. We want to see what winner takes all is all about. We want to see how it impacts on our development as a country. And most importantly, whether it has a negative or a positive impact on the sustainability of our development as a country. Let's have a look at winner takes all and see what exactly it is about. I want us to take a quick break, and after the break, we'll dive into this whole conversation of winner takes all politics or policies that we are having in this country. Stay tuned.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to Accra.
Sure.
Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check.
Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadrum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. Auto checks, check.
AutoChecks, your safety, our priority.
AutoChecks.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome back. As always, get interactive with us on our social media platforms. You can also engage with us with your thoughts on our WhatsApp line 050-888-1800, as it is on the screen. Today, we are going to have a conversation on winner-takes-all policies in this country and see the effect of it. See whether or not the winner-takes-all is the way for us to go, or we need to have an alternative. What exactly are we talking about when we mention winner-takes-all? As has been defined by many, winner takes all, as we will want to call it, WTA, is we can think of or talk about in this country. He was my former president. He was the former president of the Ghana Association of Writers. He was the former chairman of the National Media Commission of Ghana. Currently, he's a communications consultant and a specialist. I'm talking about our own Nana Jan Apenting. Nana, welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I am happy to see you.
I'm also very happy to see you and happy to be here.
Great. And we want to appreciate, even before we start, appreciate your time with us and your willingness to come and share with us your rich experiences and knowledge. Now we are talking about winner takes all politics in this country. Winner takes all policies, as someone will want to describe it in this country. What is your initial take on this whole topic?
Well, I think I have also been educated with your intro.
Thank you.
And clearly, we are talking about two different things, or two related things that we must split. One is the winner takes all system is an election, or even if you like, a voting system.
Exactly.
And then you are saying its effects reach very far into governance.
That's right.
Good. And the evidence, some of the instances you have shared, all point to the fact that when you have that system of voting or election, where by winner takes all, we mean that, first of all, the first past the post, that is the first to get the highest number, even if it's not a majority,
Exactly.
wins.
Sure.
So let us say there are 100 people voting,
Yeah.
and 50% of them don't vote anyway. So the 50% that is voting, the first to get the highest number is then elected.
Sure.
And so that person may actually represent the minority.
Okay.
But for coming first,
Yes.
the person gets to represent everybody.
Everybody.
And that is the system we are using now.
Yeah.
And one of its effects has been gradually to diminish our democracy to a point where today, instead of multi-party election, we have a two-party, instead of a multi-party system or democracy, we have a two-party democracy.
Okay.
How that has happened is that the smaller parties, first of all, have no effect. So, for example, when people are going to vote and they would probably vote CPP or PPP or any of those we are calling smaller parties, which today together don't even get like 3 or 5%.
Not even 1%, yeah.
Yeah, they think they're going to spoil their.
That's right.
So we'll
Their
come
time.
to how
Sure.
that to be solved.
Sure.
But by that means, gradually, we have degraded the system to a point where only two parties have actually come to represent us.
Yeah.
And it cannot be the case that in the whole political spectrum of Ghana, only these two
That's right.
represent all the political traditions that our history has gathered over a long period of years.
That's right.
So the first thing is that we have sort of squeezed out everybody apart from these two parties. And so they become an alternance. One comes and goes, one comes and goes. And as you said, whichever party is in power. I mean, you did give examples of what has happened more recently. But both the two parties that have been in power
Very true.
have exhibited the same.
Sure.
So we have that system of the election system. But then there's another aspect of winner takes all, which is the political culture.
Okay.
And that is even more of what you have described, because nothing says that the president, whoever is the president,
Yes.
must select members of his government only from his party. There's nothing
There's
that says
nothing.
that.
That's right.
Yeah. And it cannot be the case that when MPP is in power, suddenly all NDC people have become unqualified.
That's
and when
right.
NDC is in power, all MPP people have become disqualified. It
That's
cannot
true.
be the case. So if we were to have a culture of meritocracy in which the best people will be hired by the state for the best positions, for the positions that need to have an impact on our development,
Yeah.
that culture would, over a period of time, help us to ensure that we have value for money.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As it is, the first one, the election system, which is winner takes all,
Yeah.
means that once people go past the majority, or once they get in,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean much the fact that they are not representing everybody.
That's
They're
right.
only representing more or less those who voted for them. That's how they see it. But a more insidious, a more damaging part of that system is that all votes are not the same. So let me
Okay.
explain.
Sure.
Today,
Yeah.
if you vote MPP in K2 South, you are more or less just throwing your vote away. I mean,
That's
MPP,
right.
as it is today,
Yeah.
the reality is that MPP won't win a seat
Yeah.
in certain parts of the country.
That's right.
And if you vote NDC in Manchia or
Exactly.
someplace, you won't, you know. So how do we ensure? You see, in the presidential election,
Yeah.
all votes are equal.
Sure.
Because
That's
at
true.
the end of the day, we'll count every vote, and all of them together will elect the
Elect the
president.
president, yeah.
How come we, in the parliamentary, all votes are not the same? Because, as I've explained, and you see, elections and the voting system, all these, what we have today, are the results of our history, our culture, our society, the developments, everything. So we've got to a point where, by however we got there, in certain parts of the country, certain parties have called them their World Bank, their, you know, whatever. It's not just in Ghana.
Sure.
If you go to the United
Sure.
Kingdom, we know that in certain parts of England, for example, you can put, as the saying goes, a dog.
Exactly. I was just going to talk about that because
Yeah.
there was in very recent time where we've heard some politicians describing a certain constituency as their World Bank and saying
Yeah.
that even if we put a goat here
And it's true.
we put the colors of that political party around the neck of the goat, the
Yes.
goat will win.
Yeah, all parts of
Yeah.
is in every country in the world. There are traditions, their histories, their cultures have developed to a point where we know that in the United States, for example, New York, California, Massachusetts.
That's right.
I mean, there was a time when Massachusetts, I think, elected a Republican. It was like snowing in the summer. It's not supposed to happen. And around 1972, when I think it was Nixon's second term,
Okay. election system that we are practicing takes its roots from the Constitution.
Yes.
Now, this is a constitution I have always described to be a political constitution, that it was developed to protect politicians. Indeed, there's this school of thought that says that, well, because we regime, so the framers thought that they will find a way of creating